Hello and welcome back to the Mortal Kombat 11 UK launch. It is now time for our pro player tournament, and we have 4 of the finest NRS players from around the country who have come here to do battle for you guys' pleasure.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing, and actually everyone here is super keen to obviously see how the pros are going to handle this, because it's all very well having a bit of a bash, but
Yeah,
you know, we want to see the actual techniques. So why don't we invite to the stage our very first player? Can you please welcome up Irishmantis? Come on up. Hey, how are you doing?
What's story?
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, you alright?
Yeah, all right. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Do you feel prepared?
Yeah, I'm prepared. Yeah, I've been practicing all night.
Yeah?
Oh no, I'm only messing, I don't have the game. Yeah, no, practice there like about an hour ago, and it should do the trick, you know. It's only Blade and Foxy.
Ah, okay.
Now you have quite the resume. I mean, obviously having been in the MK11 Cup League and the IPS Injustice as well. I mean, you've done a lot of
Alright,
work.
you're putting pressure on me now, man. Now I feel like I have to try. Yeah, I do, yeah.
How are you feeling about this? How do you think about your chances versus good old Foxy there?
It's Foxy, innit? So, but, you know, I'm just going to like mash forward 3 and hope for the best. You got me this far, right? So.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's stick with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, you know it.
Wish you the very best of luck.
Yeah, do you want to take a seat and get yourself ready?
And next up, the man who needs no introduction, second place at Evolution World Championship 2015, second place at the ESL Pro League. This man is AFoxyGrampa.
Come on up. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright. You alright?
Yeah, okay. You seem quite cash. Are you prepared?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm always cool.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Casual. Keep it cash. What's your strategy going into this, you think?
Just wreck him.
Just wreck it. I mean, winning is always a strategy.
No, denying victory is always a strategy.
Oh, I see. It's all how you look at it, perspective-wise.
Now, first place at Combo Breaker, first place at SoCal Regionals, first place at Vianality. I mean, the list just goes on. DreamHack, you've won literally everything NRS related. How do you do it?
Denying victory. It's not about playing for yourself. It's about playing for their misery.
Wow, okay.
Wow, that's new. That's interesting. All right, so you're looking for a clean sweep today?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
It's a bit early.
Yeah. First round, sometimes a bit
Need some
rocky.
refinement still.
See how it goes. All right, Irishmantis, he's no slouch. All right, he looks ready. He looks confident.
Yeah, all right.
Take a seat there, Denham. Take a seat.
All
He
right.
looks super confident. He looks
does.
like it's just another day in the office.
Casual.
Yeah.
So casual.
Yeah.
Why don't we throw it over to Ketchup and Mustard and we'll get this first pro match underway.
Fox, say, but I can't say that the confidence is surprising. Ultimately, these are 2 guys that they're really good friends. They
Yeah,
go
I
way
looked at their
back.
mouths
These guys have
moving.
been playing for a long time. MKX, and then even Injustice 2. And these guys would sort of face each other in tournament pretty regularly. So this is just another day at the office for them. But it's also a different environment, right? Like, tournament is tournament, but these guys, they know it's early access to the game for, like, you know, the evening, I suppose. It's a chance to play the game again. You know, these guys, they play competitively because deep down they're just like huge Mortal Kombat fans, and that's one thing that I suppose joins most of the competitive player base. Is you do it because you love playing the game. So the opportunity to come down here, you know, play the game a bunch and play against people that you know, like these guys, like you said, go way back. So they're going to be, yes, confident against each other, but it's all in good fun. It's all for the sake of just putting on a good show, and to be honest, just trying to play the game, right? Because there are events that we know will be coming up this year that are going to be super serious tournaments.
I mean, that
and these players will be at them. That announcement today, you know, the big reveal for what the competitive circuit of Mortal Kombat 11 is going to bring to the table. It really is going to be, you know, this sort of worldwide collection. All the major tournaments that you're familiar with are in the running. You know, Combo Breaker coming up very soon is going to be ridiculous. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see both Mantis and Foxy at Combo Breaker as the first tournament. But for today, it's going to be about early bragging rights. And the immediate elephant in the room is the fact that we know that Irishmantis is going to be using Johnny Cage. Or so he claims. He says he was playing Johnny Cage. I will say that he's here. He's happy to play. I think he's going to go Cage. Now, with that in mind, Foxy, understandably, would have never fought Johnny Cage before. That's the thing about this event. There are more characters playable here that were playable in the beta and the stress test. And so makes it the perfect time to just any built-in mix-ups, anything that's a low, anything that's an over, just do it. Just do it, because the chances of your opponent not really knowing of its existence is kind of high, arguably the highest it's ever going to be. And if it's the first time you've played them, I'd just go all out. If there's something there, I'd say go for it. Now, Foxy, I will be honest, I don't know what character he's going to pick. We know that Scarlet really has kind of been his main throughout the couple of times the
His
game
bread
was
and butter,
playable.
for sure.
But I feel like Scarlet was playable purely on accounts of Foxy not really having his other alternatives yet. You know, like a lot of his... Foxy is world famous as being a Kung Lao player. You know, he spent a lot of Mortal Kombat X being the greatest Kung Lao player in the world, and his results were utterly ridiculous. And then about halfway through the game's life, he started transitioning into Melina, because Melina turned out to be this very fundamentally insane character. She was so strong if you have this slow, patient, and disciplined style that Foxy invented.
But
really,
with that
in
style
modern
in
RS.
mind, that's why he kind of gravitates towards Scarlet. You know, the way he plays Scarlet, it's not flashy, it's not super exciting, but it's calculated, right? He slows the game down. He really lames it out because he wants to really make sure that his style works. Because his style, it's frustrating to play against. It's hard as nails to break in on if he really has the advantage. But Irishmantis, he knows a thing or two about it, and we will be going into game in just a few moments. Here we go. As we get started.
Number 1 is going to be starting off, and it's Scarlet, right? I'll be quiet. We want the intros to play out. Maybe we don't. Maybe
Okay,
we
no
don't.
worries.
But, you know, maybe they're just
Oh,
gonna,
it's Ninja
maybe
Mime,
they're
dude.
just going to say nothing. Oh, you know what? Good save. Ninja
No,
Mime.
that's what
How
he's doing.
about that? He's literally just trying out for his new movie. But regardless, a new stage as well. We're going to be seeing a lot of backgrounds we aren't really used to seeing, I think. But here we go. This is going to be that matchup. We know that AFoxyGrampa really likes to slow things down and lay it out if he needs to. And Irishmantis, he's going to have the patience. He's going to have the patience to slowly move his way in. Well, Johnny Cage is going to be a much more rushdown oriented character than Scarlet. She is a space control character. That is her entire design. Not only her special moves, but her long range buttons as well. There's the anti-air, wonderful throw tech. Backdashes, what's the second hit? Crushing blow. So much damage already. That's just the power of that crushing blow mechanic. I feel like we haven't really talked about the uniqueness to MK11 currently. It's just, there's been so much to cover, but Mortal Kombat 11, for those of you watching that might not be too familiar with the game, features so many new mechanics, and the crushing blow is one of them. Crushing blow, certain moves will crushing blow under certain requirements. You know, when specific factors are met, moves will then do that, and it will change their properties. They'll increase the damage, they'll make it launch, they'll make it do some damage over time, but you have to be aware of them as a player. And this sort of situation, we know Foxy's played a lot of Scarlet due to the fact that she was in the beta, she was in the stress test. Now Irishmantis might not have a tremendous amount of experience as Johnny Cage, but you can be sure he's used to fighting against anyone that played their beta for any time. Definitely fought this character a lot. Scarlet enforces patience. You really have to be calculated when you're fighting this character on She's going to kind of run rings around him, every hit sending full screen, allowing him to play that full screen game for another time. And I must say, you know, Foxy had some alternatives for some other characters, but didn't really dedicate, because I think Scarlet is just the character he has the most comfort with, and the most experience too. But you can see the space control pretty, you know, it's in black and white really. You know, she has the range on Johnny Cage, and the moment Mantis is able to close in space, we'll see what kind of rush down and what kind of offense he has, but ultimately I feel like his experience might be a little bit limited. Well, there we go. You see him go for that string. He's hit multiple times, but just really struggling to open up Foxy right now. He's just completely just slowed things down. But you can see the way he plays, and then there's the shadow kick rock, not once but twice. It's unfortunate because I feel like the shadow kick kind of... Oh, the castle! Oh, tricky stuff, Irishmantis. Okay, the only fatal blow. Oh my god! Bags. I would say the slowest bags, to be honest, but effective. Mantis, what are you doing?
No way.
Oh, that's the answer. That's the answer. Irishmantis, he's found it. Just start screwing with him. The mental game. Oh! No! He was so close to bringing it back, and the PND, purposefully neutral ducking. Absolute broken jaw, one game down. But I am so happy with how Mantis was bringing that back, because that is such a... It's going to sound hard to describe. A really high-level decision. Just playing it normally was not working. So he just started goofing around, right? Teabags, really trying to just... I suppose, like, but it was a way of getting Foxy's defenses down, and he started to genuinely make the comeback off of it, but the throw, he sniffed it out a mile off. And this is a little bit unfortunate for Mantis. He's kind of exactly where Scarlet wants you to be. So much work was taken there, but Fox, that was such a Foxy way to deny game number 1, just instantly crouching the grab. A little bit predictable, unfortunately. And now here comes Mantis, trying to go into some space. He's vulnerable, so he's going to eat that grab in the reposition from Foxy. Normally, you'd see someone try and press the advantage in the corner. Scarlet doesn't want to do that. She wants to keep all of that real estate and just keep the distance game going.
and Foxy doesn't dedicate to the entire string either. Very, very vulnerable to whiff punishment if you stick out the whole thing. Oh, and there's a jump over, but goes for the kick. Immediate wake up. Throw escape. Oh, there we go. Confirm. Oh, doesn't amplify the nut punch though. I think he might want to just kind of just keep the immediate plus frames, right? Keep the resources. Let Foxy maybe try and use some of his bar. We're seeing some funny interactions. I mean, the thing is, guys, this is actually the first time we've seen gameplay for Johnny Cage in this fashion as well. You know, the nature of the game's not out yet. A lot of these characters haven't had a tremendous amount of exposure over the past few months that we're definitely going to be learning as we watch. And I like that experience because there is so much to this game. It's so deep, and all we ever really see is just the surface level. The Shadow Kick doesn't really seem to be doing Johnny Cage too many favors in this matchup. You know, you'll notice that even though it's fast and it gets in on projectiles, on hit it's sending the opponent really far away. A little bit too quick. Matt is not ready to confirm that, but now he has him in the corner. Unfortunately, needs to reposition, and there's the crushing blow for the increased damage. Wake up 3. That's going to be fantastic. Try and get some space back. It's not enough. Scouted out. Instant down 1. Try. No! My turn. And there it is. That punch is getting leveled up the more it connects. Remember the exact properties of it. It changes the more it works. And there it is. The third time was unblockable. I remember that much. Thanks, Combat Cast. And the air standing one. Oh, no! Got the combo into the throw, though. Manages to patch it up. Oh, I can't say I'm disappointed. It'd be, madness. This is a few-hour-old Johnny Cage. He's making it work somehow, though. And there's the down 1. Okay. He's got him exactly where he wants him. If he can keep Foxy in the corner. He just sprained his thigh. Did you see that? He shadow kicks away and hurts himself. What a goofball. This is a young man, Johnny Cage. Oh, there's no excuse. There's the shadow kick. Answering back. Super, super fast. Man, it's the instant jump. Probably expecting a throw tech or something there from Foxy, but they come. Oh no, the wrong button perhaps. He read the throw, but the button a little bit too high up on the way down. Man, he's using the wrong button on the way down. And that's just clearly just a sign of inexperience. You know, we can't really. Oh no, can't jump over the blood ball. Over the whiff. Tries to punish with the shadow kick. Foxy perhaps just testing the waters there to see what to punish. Again, there will be a lot of unfamiliarity on the side of Cage, and there we go! To the chin! Oh, and the breakaway to avoid the combo! But now, Irishmantis has some. Oh, tried to throw. How did that miss? I don't know what I'm looking at. The counter. Oh, immediate tech from Foxy. Tech again! Oh no! Oh, the crushing blow! 2 heels to the face! Oh, there we go again. He's bagging again. I don't know if that's going to work 2 times. Cerebral attack! Fatal blow back from Johnny Cage. Got chip damage territory. Oh, there it is. Can't take any more of those. Let's do something dangerous here. Oh, he jumped over. Managed to get it up, but no! Does not connect the fatal blow. Manages to empty jump clean over into a fatality again. Now, remember everyone, this is 3 out of 5. So Madness still has got some time to come back. But I feel like it's taking these few games for him to kind of just test the waters and get comfortable. You know, unfortunately, I'm impressed by what I'm seeing. Even though it's a 2-0, the fact that you've got a character that everyone has been playing a significantly larger amount more of, and then you've got Madness with his, hour-old Johnny Cage. I'm kind of impressed with what we're seeing. It's closer than I thought it would be. We're already seeing him dash cancel the fatal blow. We're already seeing him do some amazing throw tech. You know, he watched that on the Combat Cast and was like, I'll remember that. I'll use it. And he won't expect it. Goes in for the forward 3, but unfortunately just didn't believe in it. Didn't commit to the nut punch. Every single time he goes for this, he could technically get a launch, but you've got to commit to the nut punch, which is really unsafe. And ouch, too far away for that up 3. An attempted wake of attack. Irishmantis wasn't quite working out. Oh, walking into attack by attack this time. You're seeing how Scarlet, she doesn't do a tremendous amount of damage in one lump, but if she just constantly hits you with special after special. Oh! Breakaway, but that damage is not going to add to this. Tries to break away the nut punch, manages to get away. Oh, there it is, the blood siphon. What's the read? Okay, the blocked Mantis. I think Foxy's showing a lot of respect, kind of knowing it was a really obvious situation that maybe Mantis would try and press buttons, but with that heal and the plus frames from the restand, it pretty much is entirely up Scarlet's street, and now it's going to be match point for AFoxyGrampa. If he wins this, he's directly straight into the finals. And there's the repositioning, but once more, he's not going to establish corner pressure. He wants the full screen game. There's the tech again. Again, that throw tech is working out so well for Mantis. He's just finding himself he cannot be overdone with them, but it's not stopping Foxy from trying. Yet Foxy still finds himself relief most of the time. I like the way Mantis is using these buttons. I don't know that the annotation's off by heart. Some serious range on the side of these Cage kicks. And now Mantis, he was going into just the original, the hidden low. Doesn't amplify. I think I was just on raw, wasn't sure if it was an attempt to. I mean, if you don't believe in it, you just don't really have the time to confirm, I don't think. This is interesting for us. We're kind of learning. Oh, no. He's alive. Oh, but clean jump and again a kick.
Quick attack. Oh, didn't connect this time. That's the third time Irishmantis has attempted, but walked straight into it, and an escape failed. Unfortunate, the throw tech did not pay off that time, but AFoxyGrampa is going to walk away 3-0. A decisive win, nonetheless, but a good showing from Irishmantis, trying to really show the world what Johnny Cage can look like. And even though it didn't go in his favour, well, that was some really cool stuff we got to see. With limited experience, I think Mantis gave us a good display. And I have absolutely no doubt that come next week, when this game comes out, we're going to see a lot more from the Irishmantis. Oh, for sure, absolutely. Really excited to see more, especially to see how he develops, right? Because we're already seeing some really in-depth decision-making in just those 3 games, right? And I'm sure those of you that are a bit more competitive-minded saw it as well. And if not, maybe some of you did too. I mean, that's the whole point of today. We're trying to showcase so many different skill levels, you know, be it pro players, be it, you know, celebrities later on, be it the influencers down the line. Like, we want to show off that, like, anyone can play Mortal Kombat. You don't have to be a top-level player to enjoy it. And I think that's most of us do. Now, I believe we're going to be throwing back over to the stage, get a couple of interviews with the guys, and just like that, take it away.
So, this is what we want. Yes, tears, misery. You want to bring the misery, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah? How did that go? How did you find it?
Well, he doesn't know his character, so I was just walking all over him, really. That was pretty much it. Yeah, it was entertaining, though.
It was.
It was entertaining to see like how he's going to piece his game together.
How did you experience that, Mantis? I mean, I know you've only got a few hour-old Johnny Cage there.
No, I knew Johnny Cage inside there. It was just sandbagging, like, and get ready for the main game. So,
Saving your tactics for now.
Yeah.
Wait till there's more on the
It's like,
line.
you know, you're a smart man, Ryan. You know this stuff.
Okay. So, talk to me. Scarlett as a character. Do you feel she's going to be top tier? Do you feel she's really prominent? Or does she look like she has a tool so far?
Be careful what you say.
Need to see the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
I think it's more so that Scarlett was a good pick for me.
What is it that you think about your style that suits the character?
Yeah.
I like letting people kill themselves. Like being in the driver's seat, it doesn't matter how much damage you do, just as long as you make them force them to make the mistake.
All right, well that sounds really cool. We've actually got some replays from that set that we're going to have Ketchup and Mustard go over right now.
A little bit, but ultimately it was kind of experience versus inexperience. I think at this kind of event, you kind of see that coming, really. It's kind of, I really can't stress enough that Madness gave an impressive display, and this is the crushing blow. This is the kind of new mechanic that you can kind of see in MK11, where each move that can crushing blow will have a different requirement. Right there is pretty much when Johnny Cage, you know, his forward 3, his advancing knee, that's one of his best buttons in the game. And what Foxy did there was try to whiff punish, but Madness committed to the full string. And if you get hit by the full string, crushing blow into massive damage to punish you for trying to punish them. Yeah, but that's to be expected. I actually think a big change there as well was, as is the way when even competitive players are trying to learn characters, there is an option in the menu for your controls, which is crushing blow, held check. And that one option is night and day when it comes to being able to apply what is arguably, in my opinion, could be the most important new mechanic of the game, the crushing blows, as you're seeing.
I think it shapes it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, for example, if you connect an uppercut, you know, the uppercut by itself does like 14%, 140 damage. If your opponent is in a counter hit state, I'm not getting too technical, but if your opponent is a counter hit by the uppercut, it does not only increase damage, but it will then launch them. And every single crushing blow has that kind of additional property in some way, even if it is just increased damage. And it is so important to know what they are. I know that Mantis was in this playing with that held check disabled. So it would just, if it crushing blows, it just will. Whereas normally, competitive players will turn that on and be able to, it will only crushing blow if you hold the input, right? So if you want that crushing blow, you get to decide when it is and isn't the right time to use it, because you might not always. But that really comes down to, again, that higher level stuff, that extra layer to the game, that if you're learning a new character, there is a lot more to it, I think, in this game. Yeah, there are a lot more factors to keep in mind when you are learning new characters, because not only are the new mechanics universal, there are some character-specific stuff through stuff like the crushing blow and the fatal blow. Johnny Cage is the only character that can dash cancel his fatal blow, and we all remember how strong that was for him in other games. You know, maybe not a super move, but still the ability to do that, you know, to cancel out a dash and get some more advantage. Really powerful stuff, and nice to see Mantis already going for it. But ultimately, it was a 3-0 to Foxy's favor. And he did show us some of those cool finishing moves. I must admit, if we saw Foxy was going to go to him with Scarlet, it was a pretty expected result for me. You know, not to discredit Mantis in any way, it's just fundamentally, if you, not only its experience, but it's the fact that Foxy Scarlet is really, really, really dangerous. However, we'll be seeing him a little bit later on. GG's to Irishmantis, and I'll catch you down in a few hours when this is over. We have got our next match up and ready to break down, so take it away.
Indeed we do. It's going to be OmegaK taking on Aixy, two very well-known UK players. First up to the stage, it's OmegaK.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
You're all right? You excited to be here?
Yeah, it's a privilege to come down to such a big event, really, and be a part of this.
Yeah, great. I mean, you are a very consistent NRS player yourself. You've played Injustice. You've had really good results in all the NRS games, basically. How are you feeling about 11 so far?
Love it.
Yeah.
Perfect game. Yeah, can't wait for it to come out next week. I'm going to be.
What is it that's kind of like really struck you right off the bat?
It's just more slowed down. Like the pace is a lot slower. It gives you time to think. Last
More
Mortal
strategic.
Kombat. Yeah, exactly. It's more like chess.
Yeah.
And,
And what do you feel about like breakaway functions and flawless block and flawless block punish and things like that? How do you feel about the system changes?
any more features that add depth like that are always welcome. They keep adding things every game, and it's just refreshing, to be honest.
Well, you better win then.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see.
All right, do you want to get yourself set up, and we'll work up to the stage. Aixy, come on up, come on up. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, you all right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
So how have you felt about the game so far from what you've played?
Well, I did play a little bit of Cassie Cage, but I don't know how to use it yet. I'm going to give it a go.
Okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's no pressure. It's just a friendly. It's a friendly little match. It's nothing too serious.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's really exciting for people to see, you guys who are like the pros, to just like have a go with like not having months of practice, just to kind of be thrown in and see what happens. And I suppose it's all about learning from your mistakes,
Just
right?
let your natural talent take over really, and the rest will happen by itself.
Yeah. No worries. When you get yourself set up, there you go.
So yeah,
Wow.
I mean, two very stellar performers. Aixy is actually the first ever MKX UK champion, beating AFoxyGrampa in the finals of that tournament. There's a
Got
storyline.
some creme de la creme here, definitely. I'm really keen to see how they get on, because it's actually almost like more interesting because they haven't had a lot of time to practice.
Yeah.
You're kind of like everyone's trying to kind of wing it a little bit, and you can just see what works and what doesn't.
I mean, basically, people are thriving from their previous experience with other games that they've played. They're looking at things that they can connect that make sense based on how they've joined the dots when they've learned other games in the past, which is actually a smart way to go about it. And MK11, being so intuitive in its variety is going to be a great progression for everyone that comes in, whether they're new players, whether they're seasoned veterans, and these two are about to experience that right now.
Well, why don't we throw it over to Ketchum and Busted and get this second pro match underway?
There's a nice mix of history with the match that we're just about to see. Aixy really sort of made that name for himself in Mortal Kombat X. There was a sort of European-wide Mortal Kombat Cup that went alongside the launch. It was an offline series where there were qualifiers all over Europe, and the UK stop actually did have Aixy versus Foxy in the grand finals. Aixy was the first player in the UK to actually defeat Foxy in tournament. It was a massive upset, and at the time, Aixy was very much kind of like the unknown player that a lot of the Birmingham boys were kind of bigging up and saying, man, you got to watch out for this Aixy guy, because he's no joke.
I remember it fondly. That really was his kind of breakout performance, right? Like we didn't know anything about him, and he has since gone on to be successful in many fighting games. But it's nice to know that he was playing a lot of the MK Beta. He played a lot of Injustice. In fact, both of these two players played a lot of Injustice too. Aixy did well in the points. I believe it was IPS year 1. He was able to defeat players such as
Legoland Jet.
Legoland Jet.
The story of Legoland Jet.
He was able to defeat Slayer in tournament. He had some nice scalps under his belt, I suppose you could say. And OmegaK, lest we forget that the Gorilla Grodd God, he was one of those absolute crowd-pleasing plays. Gorilla Grodd was a tough character to play in Injustice 2, but Omega, he loved the character and he put in that time, and he was at Evo, I believe. He managed to get, I think it was top 64 at Evo the year he was there. He got Knight that versus fighting, but they both have like roots in Mortal Kombat. But we are ready to go to the game in just a few minutes. As soon as we load into the match, we will be ready to go. Now, character choice. I know Omega was playing Scarlet in the beta because pretty much none of the characters he wanted to play were available. So he was like, I'll pick someone, pick someone stable, pick someone solid. And, but Geras, it looks like, ooh, okay. And Aixy, I was just about to say, known for Cassie Cage. Now, he was always a Cassie Cage player, and he has dabbled in her a little bit, kind of the same time that Irishmantis was using Johnny Cage. We did see Aixy go in with Cassie. Geras is one of the characters that I think Omega has been very interested in, but kind of, as a running theme, gameplay with these characters has been kind of limited on a public sense. So I'm interested to see how quickly these guys can adapt. The forward 2-2 with Geras, that can, I think, tick into the Titan tackle, the command grab, which without question is one of his absolute most important moves. And Cassie she's completely different. It's already the way that Omega's been building his gameplay, right? This is a character with big buttons, a command grab, good range. Like, it really is a very OmegaK style character for sure. Geras, like you said, these are two characters we haven't had a huge amount of time to see over the last couple of months, and Cassie Cage especially one of them. But Cassie Cage very different in this game. You can see she has the drone that is perfectly flying with her this time, and she just doesn't quite tick the same boxes she used to, but she still seems to have a lot of good options for her. And even round one, but again, those gunshots, she's so much more acrobatic with her guns this time. And there we go, the fatal blow. I was just about to point that out. The one thing I think Aixy wasn't looking for is that Geras has pretty much a full screen fatal blow, and the suction is mad. Almost not quite, but not dead yet. Oh, and there it is. That is the sand trap. It is a dangerous low. Geras does have some overheads built into his string, so if he can get close, that will open up some opportunity. First round. Geras is one of the more interesting characters, I think. He's one of the new additions, and there really hasn't been a Mortal Kombat character that has ever played like him. However, Aixy, that's the right one. Wrong names up here, boys. OmegaK going into Geras, the down 4 ticking into command grab is really important. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of seeing the Titan tackle just pick someone up and just run them like half distance to the screen. He doesn't just punch you away, he doesn't teleport. My man, he's put in the work, he's got them strong legs, and he's just going to carry you to where he wants you to be. And there's that wake up again. Ooh, tries to hit. Yeah, not every single button will tick into that tackle, and the fact that if you catch them when they've pressed it at the wrong time, you can get a full punish, but Aixy's going to have to be familiar with it, and this is a matchup that I guarantee he's never played in his life, and there it is, crushing blow, and a shadow kick. Let's make it 1-1. Yeah, it was enough to take that life bar too, so we evened out now. I guess OmegaK's really trying to force the respect of the grab, but Aixy's getting clipped by a lot of the buttons, so the grab isn't connecting. Now, what is the adjustment here? Do you stick to it and see if Aixy eventually starts to respect the options, or do you just decide to commit on the hit this time? I mean, the sand trap is such a wonderful counter zoning tool. There is the ability version which allows Geras to kind of teleport to your location and not trade. I'm not sure Omega was ready for the punish there. Unfamiliarity will be a pretty big factor, and the delayed into down 2. Wake up uppercut. Oh, he tried to bait it this time. I think he expected the breakaway, but wasn't quite prepared for the follow-up. Command grab. Does do a lot of wall carry, and if it actually is against the wall, increased damage. Oh, now wake up. There's the throw. Oh, the drone! So coming in the tag team. Your turn, mate. Oh, goes to the Titan tackle again, but not at range. Looks a little bit too far away. Goes in for the wake up 3 to try and make it going for invincibility, but it's not going to work out. And there we go. Fatality. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the one, right? This is the fatality. This is the one. Oh. Great. Love you too, Cassie. Thanks very much. Good. That's so good. Now, game 1 in this kind of setting is always going to be data. I think Omega kind of felt it was a little bit visually uncomfortable, which is kind of to be expected. And as this set progresses, I think he's going to get a little bit more familiar. Well, he's going to have the games to do it. And there it is. For the first time, we see that rewind, a really strong move that this variation of Geras has access to. If he does like a single hitting attack, he can activate that move and effectively just put him back to a previous state. So it really changes the mind game if you're trying to, especially with a character with a long range command grab. Dangerous time for sure. There it is, trying it again. Oh, straight into it, forcing the respect. Now, he didn't use it at all in game 1. Now, during the cooldown between game 1 and 2, Omega must have been running over his head. Okay, what haven't I been using? And he's using it almost immediately in game 2, really kind of showing this adaptation that he kind of has to have. There is no other option here. But we'll learn as we go. There's the grab. The throw. Slowly that life lead is going in the way of Aixy. That's quite a lot at this point. Geras, he does have some nice damage potential in the corner. Mid-screen a little bit more limited. But he does got Aixy behind there. Ooh, trying to go for that sound trap, but just a little bit out of range. And of course, this variation also has the sand pillar. There's 2 different projectile options. The sand pillar is more of a traditional projectile, and the sand trap is more of a counter zoning tool. Downfall's going to be plus, and there it is. The Titan tackle versus the wall. Much more dangerous. Way more damage. Oh, A lot of range on that hammer fist. There's definitely some unfamiliarity here. There's the nut kick. It's going to be very strange not calling it a nut punch anymore when Cassie's involved. Oh, only for her. It's really throwing me off how the drone spends a lot of time around the enemy. That must be really just strange. Oh, there it is. Amplified. The pillar tries to get him to squirm, and the jump kick's going to take it, but unfortunately those minus frames are going to eat a free grab. A wake up 2 for the launch, but understandably not really ready for the follow-up. There's going to be some unique combos there. I couldn't tell you what to convert it off. There it is. Oh, escape failed too. Aixy attempted the tech, but the wrong direction. And they wake up and scout it out. There it is again, that Titan tackle with the corner behind. Damage coming up. Out of time, but not quite. He does have enough to come back. There's that fatal blow ready. Oh, the Titan tackle traded. And again, is that going to be it? Oh, there is the round. OmegaK tying it up. Right back in the match. A very slow-paced game, I think. I think that's almost natural, right? You know, these players, they're trying to get familiar with their characters of choice. The amplified. Oh, I forgot that. He definitely could have comboed off that, for sure. And for knowing Aixy, he will remember that. But going straight for the side kick, a little bit too far away for the grab. But, oh, you know Omega, he's going to be careful. He really, really wants to keep Aixy in this part of the screen. And that body splash, unfortunately, the cross-up, which no one wants. A lot of damage on that crushing blow again. The neutral respected the body splash. And there it is, the full string. Oh, the backbreaker. He's played a character that does that before. But unfortunately, the string, as much damage as it did, it's put us back to the wall. Even the Titan tackle, we're half screen away now, but we're still mid-screen, which is where Omega does not want to be. Oh, he has enough life to take the chip damage if he wants to, but every time he blocks that sand, like he's going to get a free check, and Omega's got a lot of life. Oh, no! Maybe I can get the air to it, but scouted out the wake up again. Now this is dangerous territory. We have the fatal blow. Is he going to pull the trigger? I think he tries to anti-air. It was the wrong button. Oh, that could have worked perhaps there. Oh, he tried to react with a fatal blow, but I think the amplified gunshot in the air moved Cassie just out of range. Just like you said, it's long range, but it's not quite full screen. You know, it does still have a set distance to it. I respect the attempt, though. In fact, if I were in that situation, I'd pretty much do the same thing. You know, you see an opponent jump back, you know that the fatal blow with Geras has full screen suction. Why wouldn't you go for it in that situation? But he's going to have to remember that now going into the next few games. Now, the big adjustment there from Omega was that rewind. You know, he really got a lot of mileage out of that over time. The big part was kind of just, I suppose, reading Aixy's defense a bit better. But still, it was a close game, but it has still resulted in a 2-0. Aixy really showing why he was invited, you know, why he knows a thing or two about Mortal Kombat. There's that catch in the air. Keeping him in the corner, which is fantastic. But I know Aixy can be fully content with the full screen. One of the things about Aixy is that he has those really snappy reactions. So I think his neutral in general is pretty strong. Cassie is a really good character pick for him. I mean, it was the same thing in MKX. Oh, max distance Titan tackle. And just flung away. If he grabs him from this range, he's going to get that extra damage ender. Oh, my word. I don't know if anyone could hear that. I hope not. Okay, here we go. Omega. Can't count him out. Do not count this guy out. Conversion. Now, fatal blow. Oh, it's not going to work out. That's match point. Okay, there it is. There's the grab. Taking the minus frames again. Wonderful anti-air. That was such a clean anti-air. One of the real benefits of MK11 is that anti-airs are consistent. They're clean. And in a slow-paced game, you know, so there's definitely a different speed from MKX. You want those anti-airs to be nice and consistent. Oh, that Titan tackle didn't quite connect again. Just far enough away. Oh, Aixy. I like the way he's playing this. He really is just... The majority of the damage Aixy is taking is when Omega is close. He's in that kind of Titan tackle range for the shoulder charge. But he's really just distancing him out round. He goes as far away as he can. Because you got the projectile, you have that traditional answer. There it is. Wall-based tackle. It's pretty much, I think, explaining itself at this point. It's just the strength where if Geras has you near the wall, it's really dangerous. But that said, he has actually got some strings where if you expect the grab and you challenge it, he can go for some full combos as well, especially off his forward 2 string. And he tries to go in for the fatal blow. I respect the attempt, but there is not instant armor on fatal blows in this game, unlike MKX and MK9. No, but I don't think that was the problem. He just didn't have the health to take it. You know, he was low at the time, but didn't quite have enough. And Aixy It's going to be moving on again. Another 3-0. So the sets themselves aren't super close, but I feel the matches are really good. Especially considering, again, we have to remember, these players, they've only had a couple of hours.
Oh, wow.
Aixy's so
Sorry,
dominant,
I'm too busy like
Aixy's
chatting.
super dominant. That was insane.
You were so casual, and then you just came in and stormed it.
Yeah, I managed to figure out like anti-airs, so yeah.
What was your strategy?
Just to keep him away and chip him down.
Yeah?
Yeah. Just
What
make him
went
make mistakes, and that was it.
What went wrong?
Just couldn't really
smoothly
get in.
went through.
Yeah, didn't really get my chance to do anything, so fell apart from the start, really.
Is it the pressure? It's the pressure, right?
Yeah, let's go with
Yeah.
that one.
All right, let me come over here briefly.
Right.
Before we get to the crew. What do you think of Giras as a character? I mean, obviously, he's got a nice command grab, he's got nice anti-gunning tools.
He's got a lot of unique moves in his other variations, but I've not really had enough time to sort of experiment with him. But I just like grapplers, so that's why I kind of went with him today.
And Cassie Cage for you?
I think she was like she's really different compared to how she was in MK11.
Yeah.
Like she just feels like a completely different character.
Different in a good way, so she's better now?
She's got her ups and downs, but
Yeah.
like, I kind of like her.
You're enjoying it?
Yeah.
All right, well, you had an epic match, and we're going to get some of those replays right now, reviewed by Ketchup and Mustard.
I was really glad that we saw the guys go with the characters they kind of wanted to try. You know, I feel like there are players that really want to win, and we know that Aixy and Omega are definitely the kind of players where they do play to win. When the chips are down and it counts, they want to make sure they can win. But in this kind of setting, the moment they're looking at character selects and they can see Giras and Cassie, I mean, they're gonna pick them. Surely they must. Yeah, for sure. But I feel like a big part of it, right? I don't want to kind of keep referring back to it. You know, these players don't have a huge amount of time to play and learn. But I feel like out of like pretty much like the hour and a half, 2 hours they have had, it's nice to see them what they're focusing on. You know, what their priorities are when they're trying to learn. You know, so for example, we saw MK is like, I like playing grapplers, so I wanted to give out Giras. And we saw him using the Titan tackle more than anything else, because if that's what he wanted to build, you know, knowing that he hasn't had a huge amount of time, building his playstyle on that one mechanic, because he knows that that's what he wants to focus on, because that's something he feels as a strength. But then you match up against someone like Cassie that can get you full screen, that does have those strong buttons to stop you coming in, those projectiles. I think it was a really nice clash of styles. And from that point, obviously with Giras, I have no doubt we'll see it from the guys. And you know, you Giras players out there, day one, that once you start establishing the respect for the tackle on block, because it really is one of his key specials, Giras has got a lot of strings and attacks that you can do instead of the grab, that if they try and release block, or they try and jump, or they do the classic things that beats command grabs, that Giras has these crazy other options, especially in the corner. A lot of launch potential without any moves necessary if the opponent's back's to the wall. Right, well, we do have our final two players in the Pro Player Exhibition ready to go. So Julia and Ryan, take it away.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be an absolute classic. It's actually a rematch from the MKX UK final we saw previously, where Aixy took it. Are we going to see a rerun of previous history? I don't know. What do you reckon? What do you reckon is going to happen?
I don't know. I think like Aixy came on, he seemed a little bit nervous, but actually just casually stormed it.
He absolutely steamrolled OmegaK there. But with that said, Denon did super well. You know, AFoxyGrampa kind of beat up his opponent as well. Didn't really look like Irishmantis stood much of a chance, but then again, he's using a new character. He hadn't really had much experience with him, but it's going to be a classic.
Excuses, honestly. Come on now.
Well, however you look at it, it's teeing up to be an absolute classic. So intro the players right now. First up to the stage, let's have Aixy.
Aixy, come on up. Okay, you going to change up your strategy this time, or are you just going to keep on? What are you going to do?
I'll see how it goes first. If it doesn't work, I'll switch it.
Yeah.
I'll switch it around a bit.
I was going to ask, have you played AFoxyGrampa on this game yet?
Oh, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Not
This is
even
first
beta.
time.
All right, going to be interesting.
All right, go get yourself set up, and let's
and
welcome
then
to the
after that,
stage.
of course, the man who definitely needs no introduction, you've seen him absolutely ravish Irishmantis in the first round here, it's AFoxyGrampa.
Hey, how you doing?
Right again. How's
Yes.
it going?
Yeah?
You good?
Yes.
Alright,
So
sweet.
obviously you've played him before, but not on this particular game. What's your strategy going to be, do you think?
Just be lame, pretty much. Be lame, dry it out. That's the plan.
Do you feel that it's going to be easy to play lame against a character that has strong zoning like Cassie?
I think my character's got stronger zoning. So, yeah.
All right. Interested?
Well, let's see.
Interested to see it?
We'll
Take
find
a seat,
out.
good sir, and we'll get to the
thanks.
action very shortly. It's going to be hype. It's going to be best of 5 grand finals here, a rematch in the MKX UK tournament as well. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Let's get back over to Kesha Master.
Thanks very much, guys. Now, I think that makes 2 pairs that can't wait to see this as. They definitely clashed early on in MKX, but we know that Aixy he has this very quiet, this very, he's not a man of many words, but he does his talking through the gameplay, right? You can't argue with just how strong he is in so many different fighting games. But we know that he has it in him to be a strong Mortal Kombat player. Now, despite this is a week before launch, we know, again, playing the beta, getting that time in, clearly learning about as much as Cassie as he can, the few hours they've had. I have no doubt we're going to see a lot of... We might not see a huge amount of, flashy stuff, but we will see a lot of adaptation. And I think that's the most important thing. Because, again, we're going to see all sorts of, fatalities and fatal blows and crushing blows and all that good stuff that we all want to see. We're going to see that all through the night. But what you're going to see here that I don't think you'll get the chance to see in the rest of the tournaments tonight is that the mind games, right? The adaptation, the conditioning that you really see through... Again, this is a best of 5 set. So, could be 3 games... Could be 5. I hope we get to the later end of things, but we'll have to wait and see if that's how it goes down.
Foxy naturally is a very slow-paced player. Anyone that's watched him in MKX, anyone that especially watched him in Injustice 2, a game that I think kind of fit him very well when it comes to individual players' play styles. MK11 kind of seems to be running true with that when it comes to Foxy. Whether he sticks with Scarlet day 1 remains to be seen. I kind of actually feel like, even though he has only played, the 5 characters that were in the beta, right?
It's enough to understand.
It's enough to understand that Foxy Scarlet is good enough to stick at day 1. Even if he plays a bunch of other characters, I think she's going to be sort of on his list of characters he wants to kind of keep playing a little bit. Aixy, I think, is a bit more unpredictable outside of Cassie. I think a lot of the characters he's played recently are entirely just because he didn't have Cassie yet. But that's where the bulk of his success has come from. But Aixy has been, he's not afraid to slow it down either. But I think that kind of slower paced gameplay, you're going to kind of see it here more than you'll see it on launch, purely because, anyone that's played fighting games has sat there.
We all played the beta. We all played Cabal.
Anyone
there are fast characters in this game.
I played Cabal as well. However, my point is that we've all been there where a new game comes out and we sit in training mode and you get lost for hours on end because you're just trying to do one combo. You got this one combo that you think is cool, and you sit there and you practice it until you nail it. Ultimately, these guys they're not going to have the same level of time today. So they're going to have to go to their fundamentals. They're going to have to go with basic strings they know, good buttons, good anti-air,
It really
good
brings
specials.
It really brings it back to what I was saying before, right? And that's where I think we're going to see a lot of conditioning, we're going to see a lot of adaptation, and that's what I'm going to be looking for here. The question is, what is the matchup going to be? Because we know that, I believe Aixy was playing against Scarlet in the beta. He does like playing his ladies in his fighting games, and Scarlet is definitely ticking all the boxes he would normally, look to go for. And again, we know that Foxy likes those defensive, those neutral-heavy, really patient characters. And one thing about that playstyle is it's very effective if your opponent is really not too used to dealing with it, or if they get impatient, or if they get frustrated with dealing with it. These are 2 players that don't have that problem. It definitely happens to a huge amount of players out there, myself included, where if you're against that certain style and it's really effective and it's been 30 seconds and you just can't get in because they're out-neutraling you and they're just out-footsying you, and they're stopping you whenever you try and make a move, it can get quite frustrating. Be like, man, why can't I hit this guy? What's going on?
What happens, Jake? What happens when you get frustrated? Tell the people.
You make mistakes.
How many mistakes?
Lots of mistakes. Enough mistakes to maybe lose the game in ways you shouldn't be losing. And these are 2 players that, again, they're seasoned tournament players. They've been playing for years. I don't think that really happens to them. But it will all come down to who they decide to play. We'll be going over to players in just a few minutes' time. They're just selecting their characters, so we'll get over as soon as we can. Don't you worry. But we are live at the MK11 press event in the UK for Mortal Kombat 11. We are a week away from the full release of
so
MK.
Close. I mean, I want to say it.
I can't wait.
Where has the time gone? We all kind of saw the Game Awards reveal, and then fast forward a little bit, and it was the reveal day, for London and America.
We were there too. How about that?
Everything was just out in the open, and we finally saw the game for the first time. We saw a bunch of characters, and the reveals have just been non-stop since then.
Do you know how long it's been from then to now? How long?
3 months.
3 months.
That's not a lot of time.
No, it's 12 weeks. And how much has just been crammed into that time. You know, it really is crazy just how much information has just been coming out over, you know, week after week. It's character after character, it's news after news. And again, you know, huge shouts to NetherRealm, you know, Tyler, Derek, 16-bit, and of course Matt Burke, who's here with us here today.
House, mate. In the house.
For the combat casts, you know, really, I think that really is something that personally I've really enjoyed, and I hope we see them continue. Because it really has just shed so much light on the game in so many different ways. Because there has been a lot to talk about. You know, there's been story mode, there's been the crypt, there's been Character Kawa coming back as Shang Tsung. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have seen that coming?
It has begun.
I never thought that would happen.
Yes.
But when we both saw it, I think it was one of those things that it's just unbelievable. You know, you kind of see the news, and it's always the kind of thing that the fans have wanted for a long time, and here we are, you know, you kind of wind the clocks forward and we're good to go. But speaking of good to go, I do believe the grand finals of our pro player exhibition is getting locked and loaded. We're loading in. We don't know what the matchup's going to be. We know Foxy's going to be going in with Scarlet. Is Aixy rocking the Cassie? No, he wants to win. They both see the trophy, and they're going to go with the character they played in. I mean, to be fair, they're like a stone's throw away from the trophy, and when you're sitting that close to it. Also, seeing some new visuals on Scarlet here. Haven't seen this skin before. Nice ponytail. Really good point. We've never seen that skin before. And that's the thing, right? You know, when we get this close to launch, we get different builds that we haven't really seen so much. Now, this matchup, it is going to be. Again, like with any mirror match,
it's a slow match. Like, make no mistake.
Well, no, not even just you know, down to the speed. When it's a mirror match like this between these two kind of players, it's going to be very neutral heavy. You know, mirror matches can be varied in terms of how crazy they can be, you know, how wild they are. You're looking at like Cyrax mirrors from MKX, and everyone's just trying to reset each other all game. And then you've got like, you know, huge damage of like, you know, Bane mirrors from Injustice, where you're just doing hella damage with every touch. And then you've got mirrors like this, where it's two characters with the exact same, to be honest, very diverse moveset. You know, these are two characters with a lot of special moves together. Now, the breakaway being used near the end of the round, Aixy's kind of in big trouble. He has no resources left to break out this combo, of which Foxy is going to take. By the time we go into our next round, he still would not have built up 1 bar of defensive gauge, which means that if Foxy opens him up now, there's no way to defend. The kind of mind game you can see from this, it might not be sort of on the exact surface. It's ultimately the Scarlet players trying to establish when the right turn is to press button. You know, Foxy's going to want to make sure that every touch sends to a screen. There's no reason to restand now because he has full health. Why would he need to heal in this case? And it's basically blocking one of Scarlet's many projectiles and understanding what your next move has to be. Because there are wrong options to press. Well, everything's a check. You know, some of them will stop you from walking in, some of them stop you from dashing, you know, the blood ball can, you know, stop jumping. The tongue is good if you think they're going to do like a slower projectile. Everything is a read on something specific for the most part. But the big thing here is it's a mirror match in Scarlet v Scarlet, but we have to remember, and that, I don't think we're ever going to get bored of seeing that. And there's the breakaway. Oh, and the fatal blow! I love that choice. I think that was so smart. It's very expensive, but it's going to be potentially what Aixy needs to get back into this game. Let's not forget, Scarlet can heal if she amplifies some of her moves. But no, the parry! I feel like he just thought it was going to get blocked. He has to confirm. What is going on here? Aixy didn't confirm 2 hits, but it doesn't matter. Foxy must have expected a grab. That was a very deliberate neutral. I wonder if he was just holding up, you know, like he just took that low string twice. I mean, at that health, it definitely can be a read, especially without the resources. Oh, tries to punish, but there we go. Gets the uppercut for it. I respect that uppercut so much. He dropped the combo and then tried to go in for something else, and the follow-up to that string with Scarlet is very, very unsafe. All right, there's the low. Foxy not scouting it out, disrespecting on wake up again, and you just have to watch out the delayed parry. That's so good. Aixy in the driver's seat. Now, I actually remember seeing some amazing clips of Aixy Scarlet from the beta of him using that parry on a read of Flawless Block. Like, if you've got parries like that, you can make some absolute magical moments happen. And that actually leads me to a point. This is a mirror match in Scarlet v Scarlet, but they picked 2 different variations. Now, obviously, this is a new build we haven't seen too much of, so I can't tell you exactly what these ones have, but I can tell you Foxy obviously has Blood Siphon, so he's got the restand. Plus frames, overhead. Wait a minute, is that death? That's death. 100%. Yes. Oh, my word. That was a very, very long-winded game number 1, but it's kind of like you said, right? They're playing different variations. They have different options, and maybe even, dare I say, that was why Aixy wasn't committing into the Siphon, because perhaps this variation didn't have it. So I know Aixy's doesn't have the Siphon, I know Foxy's does, but of course Aixy has the parry, and again, that brings you into variations. It's going to be a huge mechanic to this game that you're going to have to remember, right? When you play a character in Mortal Kombat, same with MKX, with MK11, obviously now we go into the future you are going to have to really think about what variation you want to play. You know, if you're playing in ranked or you're playing in competitive, you have a couple of choices at your disposal. If you're playing in obviously more casual modes, you can create your own. But the characters, they can be so diverse depending on what moves they have. You know, even in this competitive mode where the variations are predetermined, you still have different options, and it requires you to understand those options so you can play the character in the way that's best for you. This has been a complete turnaround as Foxy is just, oh, there's the whiff punish. Actually got a lot of mileage out of forward 4 string before, and but now it's going to whiff. There was no way Aixy was going to pop breakaway there either. You know, that's one of the extra things. There's a time and a place to use certain options, and breakaway may be a great combo escape mechanic, but if Aixy is pretty much 100% of life down and he's about to lose the round, why would he put himself 2 bars of meter down, right? He's going to want to make sure he keeps that. Aixy trying to advance in. That's the thing about breakaway. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's strong, but it's not to be used in every single situation. As you can see, that bar from Foxy is taking so long to come back. He's just trying to use his screen as much as he can. Really, again, just slowing it down. This is the way Foxy wants to play. I mean, the rules to fighting Scarlet is that you can neutral crouch everything except the tentacle. You know, that's the one thing that you have to hold. So you ultimately look at Scarlet and you have to block on reaction to this tentacle animation. But it is the easiest thing to react to, and that's the beauty. The tentacle is the one. Oh no! That was definitely an anti-air attempt that just didn't work out. Neutral crouch! And there's that purposefully neutral ducking Foxy. Oh no, Aixy can't break away! Actually, I actually wonder if Foxy overcomplicated that. With the amount of damage that we know Scarlet's Fatal Blow does, he could have got the Crushing Blow down too and just gone for 4-4 Fatal Blow, and it would have killed. I respect the combo attempt though. Oh, it would have done so much. This guy does know how to do swag, but sometimes swag is not always demanded. Speaking of which, maybe he thought that's like swag. Maybe he was just calculating, right? Because he clearly went for it, so clearly it's practice. Maybe he was supposed to do just 1-4. Maybe the 4-4 wasn't necessary, but regardless, hindsight's a beautiful thing, and in this case, not really needed because he took the game anyway. That's going to tie us up 1 game apiece. You can see just those stone faced. You know, this isn't the. This isn't a. It's not lighthearted. Now we're in grand final. These guys want to win. We've definitely gone past party time. You know, it's serious time for both these guys now. You always want to be the first trophy. You always want to be the first winner when it comes to this kind of tournament. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when the trophy is literally an Aixy. Like absolutely, Blood Ball. That's what throws me off about the Blood Ball is that it moves mad slow, but it's so big, you feel like it's gone past you, and you stand up into it. It really takes discipline to realize that it's cleared you, and it's time to move again. Aixy trying to go in for the trade on the Blood Projectile, smartly amplifying it to try and get some health back. Unfortunately, he's lost so much health. It actually meant very, very little. Foxy is going to take the first round of game number 3. It looks really hard to bring the life lead back if you don't have it in this mirror match. I think it's because Scarlet has a great amount of tools for dealing with Scarlet. You know, universally. Freestand. And just the low walk back. Ooh. Too far away to convert from that low, though. Oh, I wonder what he tried to do there. Tried to interrupt with a standing 1, perhaps. Tentacle. Uh-oh, catches him. Can't break away. Full combo. And Foxy's going to go for the Siphon. Oh, no Amplify, though. Doesn't want the health regeneration. Interesting that he chooses not to Amplify, actually. Either way, I don't think he really cares too much. The footsies from Foxy again with a button at your own peril. As Foxy is going to take another game. That first game has just been completely downloaded by the looks of things. I mean, Foxy's pretty much completely unbreakable when it comes to like a strong neutral. He's so hard to crack into, especially once he's kind of learnt his defensive options. And in the Scarlet Mirror match, granted the variations themselves might be a little bit different. He's still going to be familiar. You know, he knows how to block this character, so it's going to be very, very hard to open him up. And now Foxy almost being reminded by Aixy that the amplified projectile exists. She's all about sustain. In this variation, she has the Siphon to amplify for heal. She can amplify her projectiles to heal, all while having a strong mid-range and full-screen space control style. And again, you can just see how quickly the life bar can disappear. You know, I said it before, but I'll say it again. This is not a character that does huge chunks in one go, but she's going to hit you frequently, and she's going to hit you quickly. And that damage will add up before you know it. And like you said, she can be healing from it. She can just be constantly chipping you down. The tongue at this point. Oh no, that's a trade that Aixy cannot afford to take. I mean, we're no longer in trade territory, are we? Unfortunately, can't get the whiff punish. He is in 6 points of health. Yeah. I mean, this is nigh unwinnable territory unless Aixy can make it work. That jump in does again. Yeah, the down 3, and that brings AFoxyGrampa onto tournament points. 1 life bar away from winning the very first ever UK tournament for
MK11. The one takeaway is that, I was about to say the corner, but Aixy unfortunately completely jumped himself into it. He's used the breakaway, the neutral crouch, because the grab after a breakaway is such a common option, and that is a crushing blow you can't afford to take. If he gets clipped one more time, he's pretty much going to be over, because he's got no defensive bar. He cannot break away, he can't wake up attack, he can't do nothing. Well, the problem is Aixy, I believe the crushing blow down 2 is still locked and loaded for both of them, but Foxy, this is kill territory. If he gets that once, now Aixy has to be careful with any high attacks, he has to be careful every single time he presses a button. Foxy is slowly but surely bringing this one back. The tongue doesn't quite connect, and Aixy can get the punish. Oh, he did that really late. I think Aixy was looking for the breakaway, and Foxy did it late, and what a perfect way to finish, as Foxy is going to get that crushing blow down 2, and an absolute perfectly fitting way. Foxy created the idea, and he's going to win the tournament using it. Absolute stellar stuff.
Wow. Right, wow. How do you feel? That was amazing.
I feel nothing.
Stone cold, ice water in his face. You know when mosquitoes bite this guy, they get frostbite.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah?
Wow.
Oh,
It's commiserations. You started off really strong, you won that first game, and then, I don't know, man, the download was just fiber optic, because he just understood everything of that. What went wrong?
Well, he was just throwing like the projectiles at the right time. It's a bit like rock, paper, scissors, like the tongue beats.
What do you feel about? Oh, sorry, please continue.
Tongue beats blood ball.
Right.
The straight projectile beats, I think. Is it the tongue? I'm not sure, but like
It's just a game of checks. So it's like, if you think I'm going to do this, you do that. If I do that, you can do this. It's like back and forth in that sort of regard. Yeah.
he picked the right option like every time.
Okay.
well, it was amazing to watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
We have a trophy.
we do have a trophy for you. Look at that.
First.
Can we get a big round of applause for our pro winner?
It's AFoxyGrampa.
Woo!
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you'd like to share with the viewing public out there?
Yeah, buy Mortal Kombat. What are you doing? Seriously.
I'm Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's the MortalKombat.com.
Yeah. Pre-order Mortal Kombat. Get Shao Kahn. Yeah?
I love it, I love it. Let's go over and chuck over to Ketchup and Mustard for some replays of that final match.
Sweet. Thank you.
So ultimately, it was a matchup I think we were expecting to see. You know, there were no surprises there. Aixy was able to get the first game, which was a nice little sort of like, I guess, like an upset to very begin things, and very begin things, that's a term I just invented on the fly. But the other games we saw played there from Foxy was a lot more characteristic of what we know from him, which is just no reason to overextend. It was sustainability too, because the variation he took allows quite a lot of healing. And Scarlet, as a character who heals quite significantly when she amplifies some of those specials, she actually dishes out a surprising amount of damage compared to the fact that she heals too. It's a very dangerous combination, I think. Well, again, it's like I say, it's not going to be huge amounts in one go. It's going to be a respectable amount per special move, and she's going to hit so many of them in the game that before you know it, it has added up, and she has got a lot. And there, of course, was that first turnaround from Aixy, that amazing fatal blow, which, I mean, Aixy took game one. It was looking strong, but again, you know, Foxy, he has always been so good at just, I don't know if downloading is the right word, you know, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but he is so good at just adapting really fast, you know, which I guess is downloading in terminology. But, you know, it's not because Aixy is predictable, it's because Foxy is just so good at just clicking onto that. You know, he has been considered the strongest NetherRealm player in Europe for, I mean, what, 5-6 years at this point? Like, Foxy's been, his results speak for themselves, and this is why. Foxy's been Europe's strongest NetherRealm player since 2011. You know, he was the original MK9 god from the UK. You know, went out to Evo in 2012 and did a more than respectable result, considering, you know, some shortcomings that fell to him on the event itself. The fact he really bounced back from the amount of crazy stuff that's gone on while he's been out in the States is pretty commendable, honestly. And he's just continuing that momentum as we go into MK11, where he is absolutely the European player to watch. Oh, absolutely. And that's not really a surprise to anyone, I think. But we've seen so much news on, you know, competitive news and tournaments that are happening. This is not the last you have seen of these four gentlemen. No siree. Especially in Europe. Plenty up and coming. Yeah, if you're looking at Europe, you're looking at Viennati, Celtic Throwdown. A lot of the Europeans stream now, of course. There's so much to look forward to competitively if you're a European fan, because Europe had some good results in MKX. And it is time for Mortal Kombat to come back, and Europe is ready and waiting. It was always a European game.
was Mortal Kombat. Injustice 2 was an absolutely phenomenal title, but I think it's safe to say that Europe didn't really grab it as heavily as they grabbed MK because Europe is just so invested.
Europe loves Mortal Kombat, man.
I mean,
there's no two ways about it.
That's why I'm really excited for Viennality, because it's always like, you know, it's that family gathering outside of Christmas Day. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where everyone starts to really appear in Europe, and if you're in the European area, get to Viennality or Celtic Throwdown now.
Or
The
both.
announcements have been made. Or both. Yeah, if you're in a position to do both, go to both. We'll be there, hopefully. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But either way, that was a damn fine demonstration of some Mortal Kombat.